Last week we went live for the first time ever, a live format kind of thing. I have a producer out of Colorado named Kirk Deshawn with Forefront Aerial Productions, Captain Kirk. We pre-tape our interviews. We do what's called live to tape. We tape them as if we're live. We don't edit anything out unless it's like some glaring, glitchy technical problem. Then that's why we edit before we post the shows, as we say. Um, so I just decided I wanted to try it live because a lot of my friends are doing exactly that. That's what we're doing right now. My name is Charlie Simons. I host a show called Do Not Talk. We talk about the two things you're never supposed to talk about: religion and politics, faith and politics, right there on Do Not Talk. This is a nice big old 15-ounce coffee mug, great quality, and we sell it at our website. You want to help this show stay on the air, you want to support this ministry, and I pray that you do. Prayerfully consider it. And buy a shirt while you're there too. The shirt right here says God, Family, Country on the back. That's what the show is all about. Very good quality shirt too. It's called Soft Touch. It is very soft. It's very thick. Collar stays up where it's supposed to. It says God, Family, Country on the back. And on the front has this logo right here on the chest. You'd be helping us tremendously if you purchase some of our merchandise and share it with others also. Like I ask you, if you share this show, let people know we're on. And since we're live, you can make comments. I'm going to open up the chat room right about now. There we go. I'm just going to say howdy, big capital letters. And the chat is now underway. I got a guest I want to introduce you to. I met his wife first at several rallies at the Capitol, and this woman's a kick. Man, she's nonstop energy, smart, not afraid at all. Will to absolutely, like the left will. She is Antifa's worst nightmare, and I love people like that. She will get in your face and like, I dare you to do something. Go head on. Now you might think, well, that doesn't really accomplish much. I disagree. I think we need more of those kind of people. The silent majority has been silent for way too long. Then just recently at a Christmas party this past Saturday night where I won this, and after I went through my divorce in 2017, awful thing, just an awful thing. I lost all my Christmas ornaments, and some of them were going back like family stuff, grandmother's ornaments and so on. The ex got them all. So I don't have really any Christmas decorations now. I just never really got more. And, I'm living by myself and renting a room kind of situation. What happens to some of us after you go through a bad divorce, lose your house and everything else? This man right here, we went off the air for a little bit. My apologies for that. I'm not sure what happened or why. I don't even know if I was still on as I was explaining to you why I'm holding this Christmas ornament here. So I'm not, just in case we were still on, I'm not going to repeat it. But I will say I got it at this guy's house. Greg Hanna. Hello, buddy.
Hey, man. I didn't do it. I was just the cleaner upper.
Very early Christmas. Yeah, I was quickly telling the story about went through a divorce in 2017, just a terrible thing. And lost all my Christmas ornaments, including stuff that had been in the family for a couple of generations. And so I didn't have any Christmas ornaments. And Christmas time, I'm a single guy and I'm just renting a room. And it's what happens to some of us after you lose your house and everything else.
Yeah.
I never really got more ornaments because I'm like, what's the use? Why?
It happened to me 30 some years ago, Charlie.
And then, brother, I won this at your party on Saturday night.
Well, I apologize.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. It's the Democrats. It's the Democrats' favorite superhero. Just gives gifts out to anybody. Doesn't matter. Whatever. You get a gift. You get a gift. The only thing that they would change if they could, Santa would be government subsidized, and all of his gifts would be paid for by your tax dollars.
That's right. That's right. Your tax dollars.
That's how it
Yeah,
would work.
we
If
gave
Santa
out.
Claus
I think we
was it,
gave out 50 or 54 gifts. So there were over 70 people at the house. It was packed. It
and
was.
now you've started me on a new path when it comes to Christmas decorations. Thank you so much.
Don't hold me
Uh,
to it. Don't
I
hold me.
have I wondered if anybody's tuning in just to see part 2 of my history lesson. I had a Jewish historian on last Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, named Stuart Leviton, and it was just such a great show. And we were going to do part 2 on today, and we still will. However, Stuart, who lives in New York, actually Long Island, as he says, was in an accident,
Oh, not
a
good.
car accident.
Hope
Because
he's
I guess in
well.
Long Island they still drive, and he says he's not seriously injured, but he
Good.
thought that it'd probably be best not to dealing with police and all that. So
Thank
unfortunately,
God. Thank God.
so
No doubt.
anyway, I'm already hanging out with Greg because after I met him Saturday night, I said, "Buddy, we got to get together. We got to talk more because you're a kick." And we were hanging out at the Gold Miner Cafe in Folsom.
Yep.
Which,
Good
if you know
food.
that place, and
Good
then
food.
went and checked out the clearance rack at Hanley's Western Wear.
Which
After
was
that,
sparse. Which was sparse.
I introduced you to Hanley's. You're welcome.
Well, I'm sure
Anyway,
my
I
wife
said,
will enjoy it.
I said,
My wife.
Greg, I don't have a guest now. Would you go on? And we're going to talk about what we were talking about at lunch, and that's basically the absolute ruination of the California GOP.
Oh my goodness.
That's what we were talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, part of it. Yeah, we were talking about a whole lot of things. We had quite a conversation.
We did. I have a friend who is now. You've been active in politics. I'd imagine. Let me volunteer this story. You're originally from the Bay Area. Now you live in NorCal, in the Sacramento area. Without getting too precise, and
yeah,
you worked for AT&T for a few decades.
42 years and a wake up.
How about that? And
that's huge.
But I'd imagine, tell me if I'm wrong, you really weren't all that involved in politics, or if you were, you might have even been hanging out on the left. I don't know.
No, I wasn't never on the left. You're right. I didn't really hang out with politics, but the wife was listening to Rush Limbaugh when we were first married. She was loving him. I don't know if you remember a guy by the name of the Black Avenger. He was on the radio also, black guy that was conservative. And we loved that brother. And Linda listened to all. She didn't really like Michael Savage. She thought he was a little too coarse. But at the same time, he spoke the truth. And then I listened to different shows like the one radio show where the guy blocked the Bay Bridge and kept Clinton from getting across it because Clinton can do it, I can do it.
That's Mancow.
Yeah, I was like, smack these leftists. That was awesome. My daughter's coming in. I'm right here, baby girl. But yeah, that was about the time. But I've been a fisherman my whole life. My parents grew up taking us fishing, and I was involved with fishing since I could ride a bicycle to the lake. And ended up fly fishing and moving up here 16 years ago up the mountains and fishing for 16 years. And I told Charlie, I'm thinking, Charlie, I'm here fishing, enjoying life, but we're losing our country. We're losing it.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was already involved with politics in general, busting the chops of Antifa and all those knuckleheads and dispelling the rumors about the Proud Boys, which Proud Boys were some tough guys. They just weren't vetted, but at the same time, they were patriots and they protected her. And I appreciate that. They protected her at events because the cops won't even protect you. Yeah, the police. And I have relatives that are police officers.
So do I.
You're at a rally. You're at a rally and all the cops tell you to go this way. And we're looking and going, that's right into the trap of Antifa. They love to mug my wife, who's a beautiful Hispanic woman. And she's been involved to the hilt for a long time. You can tell when you have 70 people come to your house to support her for her birthday. She's a pretty popular gal.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been to places, restaurants, and people call out our names, and we're like, "Whoa, hey, don't advertise too much here. Somebody might have a rock to throw at me." You know, I'm not good at taking rocks in the side of the head.
Well,
You
I
know,
had your wife on the show 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she was just a kick and told a story about what it was like being surrounded by family and friends who hate the transition that she has made.
no,
Hate her,
they're-
oppose her, have
yeah, yeah,
been
it's
just
just
terrible.
amazing. It's just amazing. Their animosity for her freedom of speech. If they forgot, they have the right to say whatever they want. Go ahead. But guess what? The other barrel's pointed right at you, baby, because she'll give it to you. I've been in places where Costco's in places where some lady walks up to her and calls her, uh, I hate everything. You're an F in this. And I was like, whoa, wrong thing to say. And boy, she lit their fuse big time. And this has happened multiple times over the years where she is treated as such. And then, like at the airport, she's talking to my grandson and just hee hawing with her because she has a red hat on. Are you videotaping me? Huh? Wrong person to talk to you about those kind of things. Because
Hmm.
when you get in her face, man, she gives you grief. And she tells me the stories, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't really want to be there because Antifa, we're gonna go knuckles, man. That's all there is to it. I ain't letting you spit in my face and do whatever. But you can say whatever you want, just like everybody else. So good thing I have the freedom of speech still. Still.
And they're cowards. I mean, somebody will come up and throw something at you or hit you or spray you with something and then run into the crowd.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
stinking
Well, yeah.
cowards.
It's like putting a bicycle lock in a sock and nailing you with it, like they did Ben Bergquam at an event. Now that shows you got a whole lot of you do that from behind the crowd because that's what evil people do, and
Yeah,
they
they're
know
cowards.
they learn that stuff from evil people, and that's what this is, folks. This is not no game here. We're fighting good against evil, and if you're out there and you believe in abortions and you believe that it's a woman's right to choose, I think everybody has a right, but not to choose to kill babies. No, that's unless it is emergency and it's going to get you killed. That's the only way I would even consider it. And
Yeah.
it's just amazing. People surround themselves and saying they're conservative, but yet their ideals are left. I just can't fathom that. Michael Savage used to say, um, liberalism is a mental disease, and I'm afraid I have to agree with him. My family, most of them are conservative. My sister isn't, but she was given everything as she grew up. Everything was given to her, and she's very, very socialist in mind. But my dad was a military jet mechanic, where he worked with his hands, and that's what all my brothers done. We've always worked with our hands. I had a job where I worked with my hands for 42 years with AT&T, and then my brother is a Harley mechanic and works on motorcycles. My other brother works on nail guns and staple guns, and that's what they do. But yet they removed all of those classes out of our high schools because they want you to go to college. Well, dumb me down, because I heard a statistic about 98% of kids that are born geniuses. You get out of high school or college and 12% are geniuses. So that just goes to show you how the dumbing down of America is before us. That's why I'm part of the school board. That's a Christian school that teaches you via the internet, and they bypass all this malarkey, shots and jabs and stuff like that. And that's
Oh,
called
thank God.
Studio Nova Schools, and there's one right here in Cameron Park, near where I live, and she's a phenomenal lady. And they just got their NCAA credentials, so they can have kids come to the school that don't need the credentials to be able to finish school, and they don't have to go to some special, Notre Dame or somewhere, but she just got her credentials for that. So that's huge. But they don't have football programs at small schools. They have, you can go in basketball, you can go in soccer, you can do a number of things and still play sports and move on up into the college realm. So that's something I've been doing. I was involved with New California for a couple of years, and my wife and I are we've checked out of that and had other people take that over. That's another story. And then you know, I just retired 2 years ago. Yay! From AT&T after 42. My wife says 43 almost, but it's okay.
You
And
said something I've never heard anybody say before, and I want to get further thoughts on that. You said that they're dumbing down high school to force people to go into college. Normally, you have to have good scores in high school, but to even be able to get into a college. But actually, that makes sense. If you've dumbed it down to where everybody gets better grades in high school,
right,
everybody qualifies for college, and now they're doing everything they can to make it as free as possible for
right.
everyone. And now, is that because they're really all that interested in a well-educated populace? Or is
No,
it
I think
because these are destination mills for indoctrination?
it's indoctrination totally. I mean, look at Saul Lewinsky. How long ago did he write his book, and how many years have they been pushing his book? And all, let's dumb down all the kids and dumb down all the colleges, and they're so infiltrated. You can't even go. Charlie Kirk and those people can't even go and talk in a college without being basically ostracized. So here we are. They don't want freedom of speech.
No.
It gives you freedom. Why would you want freedom of speech as a commie? I mean, come on. That's what they're all nut about.
When you start pointing out, and they call it socialism, I don't.
I don't.
It's straight up communism.
It's straight up.
Socialism is just communism light.
Yeah.
But
In
they keep
comparison
saying
to
it's,
what we're fighting right now.
and they're now doing mini surveys,
Mhm.
and these college kids are saying, "Oh yeah, we want a socialist government." No, socialism's great. They know nothing about it. They obviously have not been educated, nor have they done any kind of research as to where it has not worked historically all over the world.
Yep.
And I've asked that question of people
What
who are
about
so into social.
Venezuela?
I asked them, "Well, why do you think it's going to work any better now or work any better here?" And they'll
Never
literally
worked.
say,
Never.
because they didn't do it right.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Oh,
not true.
oh, you're a lot smarter. You're going to make it work better, huh? In a bigger country
I've
and in a
had
bigger
I've
environment.
had liberals tell me that they didn't do it right. I say, what way's right? Continue to kill a bunch of people? That's the right way.
So they do in
No, I'm just as
communism,
much.
especially. Yeah.
I'm just as much against Israel wanting to kill all the people in Gaza. That's no different than them wanting to kill Jews in a gas chamber.
They don't want to kill Israel. They don't want to kill people in Gaza. They're actually dropping leaflets saying we are going to attack here because there's a Hamas stronghold in this hospital, and we know it. Get out. Here's when we're going to start. Here's when we're coming in. You better get out. Who
And they're
else?
all little
Who else
kids.
has done that
They're all
throughout
kids.
history?
What percentage of the people in Gaza are children? Huge. So I mean, well, kill the kids. That's the enemy's mantra. Kill them, kill them, kill
Didn't
them.
Obama say though that elections have consequences? Did they not, in an overwhelming majority, elect a terrorist organization to be their representative government?
Well, you know what the thing is half those people in Gaza are Christians. Half of those children are born and raised Christians. They're not even like Hamas. They're nothing like Hamas. They say they're in hospitals and killing people, but it's how many kids are in hospitals. I think they're going to kill more children than they're going to do anything, which is really awful. And I'm not for that. I mean, I love the idea that Israel is God's chosen people, but not Khazarian Mafia, who's been there for how many years? 2000, I think, since Christ. So it's no different, and I don't know. I have my own opinions in that arena, but same thing is we can't continue to kill kids.
Well, I'm big on, as my friends at the Freedom Coalition say, act locally, or local action equals national impact. Local action equals national impact. So let's talk about
Yeah.
our Republican Party in the state of California. I
Yeah,
went to the spring convention in Sacramento, and then I went to the fall convention down
oh,
in Anaheim.
I remember that.
This was their this is their fancy logo. This
Oh,
is
wow.
our Republican logo, which, by the way, is blue. Interesting. The GOP, instead of being red, which is our color,
Right.
they made it blue. They've got the bear following the star and the green CA because we're all about being green. Well, they might say, well, it's because of all the ag.
Yeah, that
Really?
star right there is the second republic. Texas is the first. So that's what that star stands for, Republic of California. And the
Right.
red star in front of the Texas is the Texas Republic. So, but I tell you
No,
what,
I understand that. I
our,
understand that. I'm talking about the colors, though, and the
yeah, no, I agree.
presentation.
Yeah,
I'm
what happened
talking
to
mostly about the logo. This is our logo,
yeah,
our party logo, and it is just so weak and feckless to me. And
yeah.
that just explains my experience with the people who are controlling the state GOP right now.
Well, get involved with your local GOP for your county. I mean,
I
I've got
do.
friends that are on the board and
Oh, I
they're
am.
involved. Yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
yes, I
That's
am.
good. But yeah, that's a crying shame because we have somebody part of our Republican Party here that's been involved with it for, well, I want to say 70 some years. She's been involved. And my buddy Bruce stays in touch with her quite often and shares things about what's going on and asks her questions of why won't they let somebody like, what's his name, Ferrari down in Chino, Daniel Mercury down in Chino come and talk in our county. Why can't he come and talk? So the Women's Federated said, "No, you're not allowed. We don't want you. We want who? Well, we got two choices, and he's been in office for a long time. The heck's his doggone name? Top of my head, I can't think of his name.
McCarthy?
McCarthy, and then of course, what's his name was the legislative board. He's in D.C. now, and he's not making good decisions. So, I mean, Jeffrey Perrine read me the riot act about what's his name that went to Congress, and he basically was for the left, and he
Which
asked
one is this?
what's his name that went Joe. What's his name took his spot for our
Joe Patterson. Kevin Kiley.
Kevin Kiley. Well,
Really?
Jeffrey Perrine's a real good friend of ours. And he sent me a video where he was talking to him, asking him all the hard questions, and he just never. That's what they do. They just don't answer you.
Right.
Just play
I
the
know. I've encountered
deaf,
that
dumb,
more than
and
once.
blind kid. Sure plays mean pinball though. I mean, come on, man. Just answer the questions. And it's just like what's the name Patterson for the California. Is it Patterson?
Jessica Patterson. That's who I wanted to talk about. That's why I wanted to talk about the state GOP. Jessica Patterson is the chairwoman for the California Republican Party.
She needs to go. Get out. Get out, RINO.
We had a chance to get her out in the spring convention, and she won with an overwhelming majority with all these
that shows
delegate. All these people were running around with these remotes that each one represents a vote for each one of the things that's being presented. I'm seeing dudes walking around with handfuls of them, pockets filled with these little remote things which you use for voting. I'm like, what's going on here? As a delegate now, for the first time in my life, thanks to Rudy Rosselli, who is Rudy for USCongress.com. He made me his delegate, one of his delegates, and it's been eye-opening, brother. I'm seeing how the sausage is made, and I don't like it.
Like you said, it starts with your county and you getting involved in your counties and moving up, and that really is huge. So, I guess we get what we get till we get them out.
I recommend that to everyone. Yes, Greg is absolutely right. Whatever county you live in the state of California, or wherever you're watching this, your county or your parish, if you're not watching in California, you're down in Louisiana or something, just do a search engine or phone book, whatever you have, county, the name of your county. Let's say you live in Jefferson County GOP. Jefferson County Republican Central Committee, Jefferson County Republicans, whatever. And you'll have the Central Committee pop up. Show up at the meetings. Get to know these people. Start meeting the candidates as they're going through the vetting process. Get involved. Here's a novel idea. Actually show up and vote in the primary elections.
Yeah.
So you get to help decide who goes to the big election.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been
You
to
show
several.
up, you haven't been involved. You show up at the big election, you're like going, well, I don't know this person, but he's got an R in front of his name. So I guess, I don't know.
I've been to several of our county meetings. They're right by my house. So there's a few people involved there that I know pretty well. Terry Girardi is in charge of the El Dorado GOP and answers questions from her location in Cameron Park. And she's been doing it a lot of years. And then there's another kid named Todd White, and differing views on him. But then, we got a supposed Republican county that everybody says are Republican, and we got 4 out of 5 people that are leftists. How's that work? Is it our Reynolds versus Sims doing a great job? I mean, I have a case number on the last election. We investigated it. We found people voting from graveyards. We found people voting from businesses. We found all kinds of fraud. Going in online on the day of voting is illegal. You can't go online and put anything in the day of and the next day. So when they gave me a case number, I said to the sheriff, look, he said, Greg, what do you want? I said, well, first I want those voting machines gone. Those things are evil. And they give somebody a win at 10 o'clock at night. And the next morning they're saying that they were voted by how many millions of votes? That's impossible. Impossible. Mathematically. And I'm not, let me tell you, I'm not a math person at all. I actually flunked it in high school because I hated it. I'd rather be wrenching on a car than freaking sitting in a room trying to figure out how to add 2 and 2. But it's insane what they're doing. The Reynolds versus Sims gave all voting in every county in this nation by population. That's democracy. That's what they want. They want democracy. And I get irritated when I hear people say it's a democracy. No, we're a constitutional republic.
They have no idea what a democracy even means, do they?
No. Get that in your head. We're a constitutional republic. We're formed if you can keep it. That's what we're fighting now. We're fighting if we can keep it, because they want to change your language to another race. Yeah, and they want to put blue hats on the streets up here and tell you whether you can come out of your house or not. That's what they want. But people go, nah, they're not going to do that. They're going to take away your right to ride your horse or drive to a lake and go fishing. They'll take that from you. So wake up, people. Wake up and smell the coffee. We're getting stiff. We lost Charlie for a second there, but he's back now.
Oh, we seem to have lost signal.
Oh, okay.
We seem to have lost signal there.
Oh.
Let's see if he comes back on here. Are you there? Oh, yeah. Ta-da.
I'm in here. You were the one that disappeared. I was still talking to myself when you disappeared.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you kept talking. I hope you did.
Yeah. Good thing.
Good. Well, we've been at this for like half an hour now, brother. Time has flown by. I'm not going to keep you much longer, but I will say, or I will ask you this. As a longtime businessman, entrepreneur, of course, retired with a long career, successful career, and now actively involved in political things with the on the right, conservative things in the state of California. I'm going to be real honest with you here, okay? After we lost, or they stole the recall election for governor, the light went out at the end of the tunnel for California for me.
Yeah.
How do we come back from this with such an obvious, horrible, horrible thing that some of you call a governor hairdo, and we
Yeah.
can't even recall this clown
No.
successfully? This is bad.
Well,
I don't see a light.
we're just hoping people like Ron Bouchard can give them enough affidavits to stop them. We're stopping things on the left all over with the the Child Protective Services. David Jose is battling them. Got back 100 kids to their family. Ron Bouchard, they just turned in something to the Supreme Court, and then next thing you know, they say Moderna and Pfizer and them don't have any immunity anymore. So now they're getting lawsuits with them. So that was done through an affidavit process and going to the Supreme Court. Ron Bouchard's been working on this. David Jose's been working on this. Tori Says has been working on this. So that's some of our hope. Some of our hope is with the military, and a lot of people don't believe the military, but it was founded before our Constitution. The military code of justice was used before the Constitution. So we're hoping, that Mr. DJT can get through this and get people arrested and put in jail and executed. I mean, they need to execute some of these.
Wow.
They need to execute some of these do-gooders, they say, that are evil. Everything on the left is evil, and it's good against evil. And we know who wins in the end. God wins. But I'd rather see a couple of them put up on national TV.
So if you want to see it erode quickly and have absolutely everything taken care of you, here's my suggestion to you. Just keep doing what you're not doing, which is anything. Just keep sitting there. Don't get registered to vote. Don't show up for primary elections. Don't show up for midterms. Just show up for the big election and vote for only a few of the things on there. That's how we continue this slide and we never reverse it. Because I'll tell you what, Greg, Hanna, statistics show that at least a third of the population of California claims to be Christian. Of that third of the people of that's over a million. That's over 10 million people. Only about 40% of them are even registered to vote. Yeah. That's abysmal, brother. How do we change that? Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel here in California?
Well, I got to have that faith that God's going to fix it one way or another. That's the only thing we have. I got to have some hope and faith and not fear. Pastor Greg Farrington preaches no fear. Fight them to the end. Because if we don't, you're right. You're going to lose. That light is going to go out. Yep. I pray to God the light stays on, to be honest with you.
And when you say don't fear, that's funny because in the Bible, there's some form of fear. Don't fear, do not fear, fear not. 365 times in God's word. That's one for every day of the year, my friend.
Well, here's another little ad lib to words that have been removed from the Bible and exchanged with God, Lord, whatever. Yahweh, one of the most powerful words. I heard this pastor say it was removed from the Bible 7,000 times. So I went to a Bible that I had given to me probably, 15, 18 years ago and started reading it. Sure enough, way back then they removed that. There was nothing in there, Yahweh. Yahweh is a powerful name. It's like Jesus. There's power in that word. There's power in that name.
Yahweh is it's basically the enunciation or pronunciation of YHWH, which is what the original God's people before Jesus came along. That's what they called the Creator because he was too glorious to even say his name. Yeah. So they went by YHWH, but the English translation of that is Yahweh, which also there's the English word Jehovah comes from Yahweh.
Yeah. Well, now when I pray, I just make sure I get Yahweh's name in there somewhere because
I love it.
Powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah. And when I close it out, Jesus said, you anything you ask for in my name. So I always close out the prayer with his name.
Yeah.
And I've been saying lately, Yeshua, which is the English pronunciation of Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeshua, or excuse me, the Hebrew pronunciation
Hebrew, Hebrew, yeah.
of Jesus is Yeshua.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
there you go. Do what you want with that information. Greg, Hanna, thank you so much for spending time with me here on Do Not Talk, my friend.
Right hand. I salute you.
I always close out every show like that too. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America, but most importantly, may America bless God.